If you feel lost right now, not just confused but deeply disconnected from everything around you, I want you to know something important. You are not broken, you are not alone, and you are not beyond repair. You're exactly where transformation begins. Maybe you woke up this morning with no energy to move. Maybe you've been carrying an invisible weight for days, weeks, or even years. You're tired of pretending you're okay, tired of smiling while everything inside you feels like it's falling apart. And now you're here, looking for something, anything to hold on to. Let this be that something. Because this moment, right now, might feel like the lowest point in your life. But what if it's actually the beginning of something powerful? What if this emptiness isn't the end, but the space where something new is waiting to be born? You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to fake strength. And you don't need to hide what you're feeling. In fact, this is the moment to be honest, brutally honest, about how lost you really feel. And in that honesty, something sacred happens. Healing begins. So many people walk through life on autopilot. They look put together, but inside, they're numb. They follow the routine. They chase goals. They meet expectations, but they've lost their sense of self. And maybe that's where you are right now, wondering how you got so far from the person you used to be and whether you'll ever find your way back. But here's what they don't tell you. You don't need to find your way back, because the path behind you was never meant to define the one ahead. You're not here to rewind. You're here to reinvent. Feeling lost doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're awakening. It means something inside you is no longer willing to settle. It means your soul is calling for something real, something more, something true. And through this video, we're going to walk that path together. Over the next few minutes, we'll talk about why feeling lost is not a weakness but a doorway. We'll talk about how to find your footing when everything feels shaky, how to quiet the noise around you and finally hear the truth within you. You won't be given surface-level motivation. You'll be reminded of something deeper, something you already carry but forgot how to access: your inner strength, your worth, your voice. So if you're lost, stay right here. Let this be your pause, your breath, your reset. This isn't just a video. It's a turning point. Not because it gives you a map, but because it reminds you of the compass that's always been inside you. Let's begin. You're allowed to feel lost. Before you rebuild, before you rise, there's one truth you need to fully accept. It's okay to feel lost. We live in a world that constantly praises certainty, confidence, and knowing exactly where you're headed. Social media is full of highlight reels, people chasing dreams, hitting milestones, achieving success. And when you're not there, when you feel like you're standing still while everyone else is moving forward, it's easy to think something is wrong with you. But here's the truth no one talks about. Every strong person you admire has felt lost too. Every great leader, every successful individual, every person with clarity. They all had a moment when they questioned everything. The only difference is, they didn't stop there. They didn't stay lost. They used that feeling as fuel. So if you feel lost right now, don't run from it. Sit with it. Understand it. Feeling lost isn't the end. Is the beginning of transformation. It means your inner self is rejecting a life that doesn't align with your true purpose. It's a sign that you're outgrowing your current environment, your current mindset, your current habits. This moment might feel dark, confusing, even painful, but pain has a purpose. It forces growth. You wouldn't be questioning your life if you didn't care. You wouldn't be feeling lost if some part of you didn't believe there's something better out there. That belief, no matter how small, is everything. Let it grow. Sometimes you need to get lost to find yourself again. Sometimes the old version of you needs to fall apart so the real you can finally emerge. Don't be ashamed of your confusion. Don't numb it. Don't distract yourself from it. Let it guide you. Let it break you open. There's power in stillness. There's wisdom in doubt. There's clarity hidden inside your confusion. If you're willing to listen, you don't have to have it all figured out. Not today, not tomorrow. Life isn't a straight path. It's a winding road, filled with detours, setbacks, and unexpected turns. But every step you take, even the uncertain ones, are shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you. So pause, breathe, feel everything you're feeling without judgment. This isn't failure. This is foundation. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from experience, pain, growth, and a deeper understanding of what you don't want anymore. That's progress. The road back to yourself doesn't start with a perfect plan. It starts with honesty, with compassion, with a single moment like this, where you finally stop pretending you're okay and start working towards something real. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are just in transition. And that's a powerful place to be. You don't need all the answers, just the courage to begin. When you're lost, the most overwhelming part is feeling like you need to fix everything at once. You start thinking, I need a full plan. I need to know where I'm going, or I can't start until I figure it all out. That's a lie your fear tells you to keep you frozen. Here's the truth. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to take one honest step forward. One small action, one brave decision. That's how every journey begins, not with certainty, but with courage. The people who changed their lives didn't do it overnight. They didn't wait for clarity. They started in the fog. They walked through the confusion. And with every step, the fog began to lift. You see, clarity comes from movement, not from sitting and thinking, not from waiting for signs, but from showing up messy, scared and uncertain, and still choosing to try. So if you're waiting for some magical sign to get started, this is it. If you've been telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow, or when I feel ready, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You will never feel fully ready, but you don't need to be. You just need to be willing. Start with something small. Clean your space. Go for a walk. Journal your thoughts. Apply for that job. Call that person. Learn that skill. Not because it's guaranteed to work out, but because it's a step away from who you no longer want to be. When you're lost, action is the anchor. It reminds you that you're still capable, still powerful, still alive. And sometimes that first step is simply admitting, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not staying here. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to outgrow your old self. And you're allowed to build a new direction. Even if you don't know what it looks like yet, the point is to begin. Stop waiting for the fear to go away. Fear doesn't disappear before the journey. It fades during it. You'll learn along the way. You'll fail. You'll adjust. But what matters most is that you're no longer stuck in the same place, replaying the same thoughts, hoping for something to change without ever moving. Movement is life. It's momentum. And even the tiniest step can become a spark that lights a fire inside you. The kind of fire that burns through self-doubt, hesitation, and the weight of the past. So if you feel lost, don't aim for perfection. Aim for movement. Aim for honesty. Aim for one bold, imperfect step. Because every mountain you'll ever climb begins with your decision to take that first step. Let go of who you were to become who you are. One of the biggest reasons we feel stuck, lost, or directionless is because we're holding on too tightly to an old version of ourselves. A version we've outgrown. A version that no longer serves the life we're meant to live. You may not realize it yet, but sometimes the feeling of being lost doesn't come from not knowing where to go. It comes from not wanting to let go of where you've already been. The truth is, growth feels like grief. Let that sink in. Growth feels like losing something. And sometimes you have to lose parts of yourself. The dream you thought you wanted, the identity you clung to for safety, the people who can't grow with you, the habits that kept you comfortable but small. It hurts, it's uncomfortable, it feels like chaos. But in reality, it's liberation. It's the beginning of a new you trying to be born. And that version of you can't emerge while you're still carrying the weight of the past. If you feel lost right now, maybe it's because the old path is crumbling. And it's supposed to. Maybe that job, that relationship, that version of success is not where your purpose lives. And maybe, just maybe, this uncertainty is the universe's way of shaking you free, of forcing you to choose you. But here's what you need to understand. You cannot become who you're meant to be if you're afraid to release who you were. You're not here to live on autopilot. You're not here to simply exist in the same loop. You're here to grow, to evolve, to expand, and that means letting go. It's okay to change. It's okay to say, that dream no longer fits me. It's okay to walk away from what no longer lights your fire. That's not quitting. That's awakening. You don't owe the world a consistent version of yourself. You only owe yourself the truth. So stop asking, how do I get back to who I was? Instead, Scott, who am I becoming now? Because sometimes being lost is a sacred space, a doorway between the past and the future. And the only way forward is through it. The moment you let go of the belief that you have to be who you used to be, that's the moment you begin to rise. You start creating from a place of truth, not pressure, from desire, not fear, from who you are, not who you're pretending to be. So breathe, let go. Allow the old version of you to fade, because what's coming next is someone stronger, wiser, freer, and finally aligned with the life you were born to live. You're stronger than this moment. Right now, everything might feel heavy. The silence, the uncertainty, the voice in your head asking, will this ever get better? It's easy to feel like you're drowning in a sea of questions with no clear answers. But I want you to hear this with your whole heart. You've made it through hard things before, and you will make it through this. This moment does not define you. This confusion does not limit your future. This low point is not the end of your story. It's just one chapter. Think back to all the times you didn't know how you'd make it. And yet, here you are, maybe bruised, maybe tired, but still here, still breathing, still trying. That's strength. That's proof. Don't underestimate what you've already survived. So many people quit on themselves when they're only 1 or 2 steps away from clarity. They stop when the road gets tough, forgetting that the darkest part of night always comes right before dawn. What you're feeling right now, it's not your weakness, it's your resistance to breaking through. Being strong doesn't mean you never feel lost. It means you keep walking anyway, even with doubt, even with fear, even when your confidence is low. You keep moving, not because you're sure of the destination, but because you refuse to give up on yourself. You might not see it now, but this lost season is doing important work inside you. It's building character. It's strengthening your emotional muscles. It's giving you grit that can't be taught in books or learned in comfort. These moments, the messy, uncertain, confusing ones, they're forging the foundation of your future self. And that future version of you, they'll look back on this moment with gratitude. Because this is when you stopped pretending. This is when you confronted yourself. This is when you made the choice, not to stay broken, but to rebuild. So don't let this moment define your identity. Don't label yourself as lost, hopeless, or behind. You are becoming. You are evolving. You are stronger than you think. Take a breath. Put your hand on your heart. Remind yourself, I've been here before and I got through it. I'll get through this too. Because strength isn't built in calm waters. It's built in the storm. And you're not drowning. You're learning how to swim in deeper seas. Hold on. Keep going. You're not as lost as you think. You're just on your way to somewhere greater. And it starts with refusing to quit here. Your worth isn't measured by your progress. Let's get something straight right now. You are not your achievements. You are not your failures. You are not the things you haven't done yet or the goals you still haven't reached. In a world that celebrates constant progress, it's easy to believe that if you're not moving forward fast enough, you're falling behind. That if you're lost, confused, or standing still, it means you're failing. But that belief is toxic, and more importantly, it's false. Your worth is not tied to your productivity. You don't need to earn your value. You are already enough. Take that in. You are worthy. Even if today was slow, you are worthy. Even if you haven't figured it all out, you are worthy. Even if your life doesn't look how you imagined it would by now. You see, society teaches us to tie our identity to outcomes, to label ourselves based on results. But what about the person who is fighting silently just to keep going? What about the one who is holding it together through pain, through loss, through fear, and still chooses to rise the next morning? That kind of strength doesn't show up on a resume. That kind of worth can't be measured by numbers or trophies. It's built in the unseen battles, in the quiet resilience, in the decision to keep believing when everything feels like it's falling apart. You might be comparing your journey to others right now. You might be scrolling through a world that looks like it's moving forward without you. But remember, comparison is a thief. It steals your joy. It blinds you to your own progress. It convinces you that your path should look like someone else's. But your journey is yours. And if it's taking longer, that doesn't make it wrong. It makes it real. Real transformation takes time. Real healing takes patience. Real growth is slow, messy, and full of setbacks. So give yourself permission. I am to be a work in progress. Give yourself grace. Not every season is about achievement. Some seasons are just about survival. And even in survival, there is strength. Even in stillness, there is value. Even in being lost, there is worth. So stop defining yourself by how much you've done. Start recognizing who you're becoming through all of it. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are human. And you are growing. And one day, you'll look back at this lost chapter and realize it was one of the most important ones. Not because of what you accomplished, but because of how you kept showing up. So keep going. Not because you're perfect, but because you are worthy. Even here, especially here, you have everything you need to start over. When you feel lost, the lie you often start believing is that you're missing something. Missing knowledge, missing resources, missing motivation, or missing purpose. That somehow other people have something you don't. But the truth is, you already have everything you need inside you to start again. The world won't always remind you of this. In fact, it will often distract you from it. Advertisements will tell you that you need a new product to be confident. Social media will tell you that you need to be more successful, more beautiful, more connected. But you don't need to become more. You need to remember who you already are. You were born with resilience. You were born with creativity. You were born with the capacity to grow, adapt, and rebuild, no matter how far you've fallen. Starting over doesn't mean you failed. It means you're brave enough to begin again. You might be at a point where your life feels scattered, like the pieces don't fit, the direction isn't clear, and you're unsure how to fix what's broken. But you're not here to fix your life back to what it was. You're here to rebuild it into something better. And that rebuilding starts with a mindset shift, the decision to believe that you're still in control, even when things feel out of control. Start over with what you have, with what you know, with who you are. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a willing heart. Think about it. Some of the most inspiring people in the world didn't succeed because they had everything figured out. They succeeded because they kept beginning again, even after failure, even after heartbreak, even after everything they once trusted fell apart. You don't need certainty. You need courage. You don't need guarantees. You need faith. You don't need permission. You need to trust yourself again. It's okay if your first step is small. It's okay if you don't feel ready. It's okay if the voice in your head is full of doubts. Just move anyway. Create anyway. Try anyway. The worst thing you can do right now is wait. Wait for the perfect conditions. Wait for someone to give you the green light. Wait for fear to leave, because waiting won't bring peace. Action will. You already have the lessons, the pain, the wisdom, the experience, the grit. Now all that's missing is the decision. So take your power back, take the next step, and remind yourself, even from here, I can begin again. Because no matter how lost you feel, you're never too far gone to start over. The people who win are the ones who keep going. Here's something powerful to hold on to. You don't have to be the fastest, the smartest, or the most talented to win. You just have to be the one who doesn't quit. So many people give up when they're inches away from breakthrough, not because they're weak, but because they're tired, because they mistake the delay for denial. But the truth is, most success isn't about talent, it's about tenacity. It's about showing up over and over again, even when it feels like nothing is changing. It's about being willing to look like a beginner, to feel awkward, to take small, consistent steps while the world isn't watching. You might feel invisible right now, like your effort doesn't matter, like no one sees what you're pushing through. But keep going anyway, because greatness doesn't announce itself. It builds silently, it grows underground. And when it finally rises, the world calls it overnight success. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it came from late nights, early mornings, quiet battles, and lonely moments where you chose to keep moving forward, even when nothing made sense. That's the kind of strength that changes lives. And if you feel lost right now, that's okay, because momentum isn't born in clarity. It's born in the decision to keep going anyway. Keep showing up for yourself, even when you don't see immediate results. Keep learning, even when you feel like you're behind. Keep believing, even when doubt is screaming in your ear. Because belief isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper that says, don't stop now. You don't have to sprint. You don't have to take massive leaps. You just need to keep putting one foot in front of the other. With purpose, with intention, with the quiet understanding that every step matters. Think of it this way. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of all this. Stronger, clearer, more aligned. But that version will only meet you if you keep going. No one becomes unbreakable by avoiding the fire. They become unbreakable by walking through it. You're building that strength right now, whether you can see it or not. And one day, you'll look back at this part of the journey and realize, this is where I became powerful. This is where I proved to myself I could survive anything. This is where I refused to give up. So don't stop, don't fold, don't talk yourself out of the fight. Keep walking, because the people who win are the ones who keep going even when they feel lost. This is not the end, it's the beginning of you. If you've made it this far, I want you to pause for a second and really feel what that means. You're still here, still listening, still trying. That alone makes you stronger than most, because the easiest thing to do when life gets hard is to numb it, avoid it, or quit altogether. But you didn't. You showed up for yourself today, and that matters more than you know. Now hear this. You are not at the end. You are at the beginning. It may not look like it yet. It may not feel like it. But lost doesn't mean finished. Lost means you're on unfamiliar ground. And unfamiliar ground is where new life begins. Sometimes we need everything to fall apart to realize we were never really living for ourselves in the first place. We were living for expectations, for others, for appearances. But when you feel lost, it's often because something inside you is finally waking up. This isn't about finding some perfect path. This is about finding yourself. Who are you when no one's watching? Who are you without the labels? Who are you beneath the fear, the doubt, the pressure? Because that version of you, raw, real, rising, is who you were meant to be all along. You don't need to chase approval anymore. You don't need to wear masks. You don't need to keep proving your worth. All you need to do is come home to yourself, to your truth, to your voice, to your vision. Yes, the road ahead may still be unclear. Yes, you will still have hard days, but now you are walking forward with awareness, with intention, with a quiet strength that wasn't there before. And that changes everything. Let today be the day you stop saying, I don't know who I am, and start saying, I'm learning who I'm becoming. Let today be the day you stop seeking answers from outside sources and start listening to the wisdom already inside you. Let today be the day you stop fearing the unknown and start embracing the possibility it holds. Because if you've been brought to your knees, maybe it's only so you can rise with power you didn't know you had. If everything around you feels unfamiliar, maybe it's because you're stepping into a life that finally belongs to you. This is not your breakdown. This is your breakthrough. This is not the end. This is your becoming. So walk forward, not with all the answers, but with your heart open. You are not lost anymore. You are just beginning. So here you are. You made it to the end of this video. But what if this isn't the end at all? What if this is the beginning, the moment everything starts to shift? You came here feeling lost, but maybe now you realize something deeper. You were never truly lost. You were just disconnected from yourself. You were living in a world that demanded answers when all you really needed was time, space, and truth. Being lost isn't about being broken. It's about being between who you were and who you're becoming. It's a sacred space, a transformation zone, the place where healing begins, clarity emerges, and real strength is forged, not from perfection, but from persistence. Every emotion you felt, the confusion, the frustration, the fear, it's all part of your awakening. Your heart isn't weak for hurting. It's brave for still beating in the face of uncertainty. Your soul isn't tired because you failed. It's tired because you've been carrying a version of life that no longer fits you. And now, you're finally ready to let go. You don't have to have all the answers today. You don't need a full plan or perfect vision. All you need is the will to keep showing up. To trust that step by step, breath by breath, you will find your way. Not because someone handed you a map, but because you refuse to give up on yourself. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. And you are definitely not done. The fire you thought went out is still burning. Maybe just a little quieter, a little softer, but it's there. And it only takes one decision, one action, one belief to ignite it again. Let this be that moment. Let this be the moment you stop doubting your worth. Let this be the moment you stop chasing someone else's idea of success. Let this be the moment you come back home to yourself, the real you, the unshaken, unbreakable, unstoppable you. You were never lost. You were just becoming. And now it's time to rise. Not with noise, not with pressure, but with quiet, steady power. The kind of power that says, I may not know exactly where I'm going, but I trust myself to walk the road ahead. Because it's not about being certain, it's about being committed. And you, right here, right now, are more ready than you know. Final words. This is not the end. This is your beginning. So take a deep breath, lift your head, and walk forward like someone who finally remembered. They were never truly lost. They were just being guided home.